Good afternoon from New York. Today's subject: the health of your inner self needs exercise and exploration. Inner pain can block empathy and rational awareness. Yeah. A lot of people don't understand that progress inside yourself toward greater empathy and awareness is tied to progressive politics. And what is progressive? Progressive is that which helps better meet the needs of all the people and definitely respects workers as trading partners who can organize. And got to say, without that, um, there's a tendency to be a wage slave. And a lot of times people say, wow, well, you're free. You can go to the next business. But what do you do when a handful of people in your country own controlling stock in almost all the places that you choose to work? And they are more interested in their stockholder than they are in the general health of the citizens. And this is detrimental in the end to a free and prosperous nation. You have to invest in the people. And that means fair taxing. And we're not seeing that here in the United States. We haven't seen it for a long time. And people are angry and they're in pain. And rightfully so. The real pain of this, quite real. People misinterpret where it's coming from. Yeah. But they do sense that the system is against them. That's why you see a lot of people in great amount of pain. Usually people who had early pain in their childhood. Exacerbated by the social enforced pain. Turning toward anybody that they think will upset the apple cart. And they don't think very deeply about it, probably because they're working the path for lower and lower wages, and don't have time. Problem. The 40-hour work week was brought about by, guess what? Labor union. You have to remember that workers are trading partners, just like anybody else or anything that is a trading partner. If businesses can organize, so should workers be able to organize. And they should be strong enough to have a real voice in politics and not have their politics stolen. That's very anti-democratic from the beginning. And people are upset. And so they're looking at anything that upsets the apple cart, supposedly. And so they look to A lot of times I've heard people say, well, I'm deciding between whether I support Bernie Sanders or Donald Trump. That's because they really aren't thinking about what Donald Trump stands for or what Bernie stands for, except that they want to upset the apple cart. They see that the system itself is flawed. And it is. But the way to change it means that you have to be rational in your awareness and understand where the pain's coming from. Coming from greed, unbridled greed at the top. As Robert Reich points out so eloquently in some of his videos, we're entering into what was called once a Gilded Age. As one comedian pointed out, it's just, people waving the flag for Donald Trump. Well, he wants to be a dictator. A little thing about upsetting the apple cart. Be careful who takes over after you upset it. And if they want to be a dictator, don't you see that means that your freedoms are threatened? That your voice at the ballot box might be silenced? You don't think so, huh? I think so. And it's true that we have two business parties, as Noam Chomsky said. Quite true. Absolutely true. And that's a problem. But in practical terms, we have to choose the more progressive over the less progressive party. The party that's more for the working people in the United States. And immigrants are not a threat. They come here to work. Most of them, some come to start businesses, small businesses, which is healthy for our country. And they tend to pay more of their fair share of taxes than the big, almost, monopolistic company. And I think we need to make it a little, make it illegal to have this level of monopoly that we're seeing. And we need to, as one great Republican who was more progressive, who started the Bull Moose Party, Teddy Roosevelt, and he tore down some of these monopolies, and broke them up. So we're not doing that. We need to follow what's more progressive. We need to be careful to listen carefully to what the politicians are having to say. Believe me, when someone says they want to be a dictator for a day, if you allow that, it's not going to be just for a day. And how can you wear the American flag around your shoulder? It used to be that would be disrespectful. How can you do that and then try to say you're a patriot when you're heading toward monarchy? Didn't we have a war about that? Yeah. That's going backwards. It's been long said a long time ago that if you want to go in reverse, vote R. If you want to go forward, put it in drive. Well, still true today. Now, if you're far, far left and you want a candidate that all evidence shows can't be elected, you start with what you can accomplish. You know, you don't go in and lift 100-pound weight when your capacity is to lift 50. You're going to hurt yourself more. You know, it's too much. You're asking for too much. But at the same time, you've got to make sure that those progressive voices are heard. And you've got to press for that. But the one way to press for that is to get rid of the less progressive parties. And, you know, just don't vote for them. Don't give them any power. Then you can lean on the left, the party that are left. In this case, it's one or the other, isn't it? You know, you lean on the Democratic Party to live up to true progressive values, and they will see that they can get elected that way. It's absolutely absurd that our politics is bought and in the shadow by extremely wealthy people who are in it not for you, not for society, but for their own greed. There gets to be a point where that's just not acceptable. And what we've got to understand, and clearly so, is that greed is not good. You know, you hear the evangelical Christians supporting Trump. Have they really read what Jesus had to say? What the apostles have had to say? I remember one verse in the Bible where it says, why are you showing favoritism to the wealthy? Aren't they the ones who put you in jail? Give you trouble? You know, don't be a respecter of persons. You know, they can take a seat anywhere, but don't show special courtesies. I mean, what about the first church that was formed? Evangelicals, what about that? And they had everything in common so that no one would be without. How is that the harsh capitalism that's pushed onto poor people that makes it impossible for them to rise to the middle class? Why Democrats over Republicans? Well, Democrats don't want to kill the power of creativity that capitalism can give. They want to control it. They want to control that production so that it doesn't completely destroy the poor or land them, as that apostle was saying, you know, in jail, you know, because of their poor choices, lack of education, lack of health care, lack of emotional, mental care. And let's get down to it. If we're going to push for progressive ideas, we need to be progressive inside how we image the world, how we image ourselves and other people. We have to be rationally aware, not just of politics and what's going on out there, what's going on inside ourselves. Otherwise, we're just hypocrites. We have to pay attention to what's in us. Doing the right thing. Inner mind communication, the empathetic awareness version of that as a philosophy of promoting empathy and awareness. And this is a way not only to help you become more progressive in your thinking, toward that which progresses empathy and awareness, and virtues that are built on top of those things. Those things are inherent. Those things evolve. And they're valuable. Goodness, truth, and artfulness, and the trust that these perspectives give us. Very important. Also, if you want the health of your inner self to be improved, and what is your inner self? Well, in this particular version of inner mind communication, it's the dramatic self, the more emotional part of you that's direct in and more directly feels the impact of things that happen. And guess what? Being able to get outside of that drama is important. And also freeing oneself from a locked-in self-concept pushed on us from our social circumstances. So you want the health of your inner self to improve. You need to get your source of compassion from perspectives that are creative, passionate, and objective. And what else you want to do in your religion or whatever, go ahead. But this is the core of progressive thinking, and I believe the core of any true rational mystics. What is a mystic? A mystic is someone who tries to connect to their reality, their ultimate reality, in a personified kind of way, which means a kind of idealized self that is outside of the direct impact of our drama and our entire timeline experience. A way to see ourselves as others see us, an attempt. And that means getting out of your drama and getting out of the chains also of, and this is all for your inner health, the chains of the self-concept that you have been given by society, which can be quite abusive and quite subtle in some way, especially if you're in a minority. So you need to experience yourself in terms of what I call the infant mind, the part of you that the rest of you evolved from. Part of you that, well, that might not be exactly the word that should be used, but that part of you that existed before you had the ability for language and the ability to be limited by language. Language is great, but it can be limiting. And so getting a concept of yourself outside or of that dramatic self is helpful, but so is getting outside of any concept about yourself, a non-language view. These are important for your inner health. To have an internal communication and with capacity for creative, objective, and compassionate empathy, and also for your ability to focus, to be at play, and to express your innermost feeling. And when you do that, you integrate, you unlearn helplessness around the inability to feel. If you can't feel, well, your inner self essentially is your feeling. That's more your dramatic self, that's a more real part of you. And getting in touch with that without language is also important for a lot of reasons. And in fact, all the forms of empathy were built upon these three things that I mentioned that you were capable of as an infant. And you're going to ask me questions. I don't want to carry on and on. Ask me questions about it, I'll answer them. The channel is going to be expanding. And, we're hoping to get across a message that is progressive, both for your inner self and for your experience in society and in society itself. And it makes me wonder, when we say inner self, that's just you, you know? And it's your innermost self, which is your feelings. And beyond that, our social influence selves and points of view that make up who we are. So let's see. We need to be progressive. That's the point. The channel is growing. We hope that you will grow with us. If you agree with what I'm saying, please subscribe to the channel. It helps a lot. And be sure and comment. And if you're in disagreement, approach it with questions. That's one polite way to disagree. If we're in agreement, then, you know, all right. We may not be able to, all of us who are going to be managing this thing, may not be able to respond to every comment, but we will strive to do so that you can feel it's your channel as well. I have some other channels that I'm very impressed with. Of course, I think I've already mentioned Robert Reich many times. He has a channel, and the channel name is Robert Reich. Imagine that. Somebody so impressive and so influential that their name can be a channel. Wow. He's a great progressive. I'll tell you somebody else that he was born in Tennessee. Anyway, his channel is Tennessee Brando. Another great progressive. With an accent from the South. Right? Some of the great progressives have been from the South, you know. And don't stereotype. So anyway, I guess that kind of sums up what I got to say for now. And I don't want to drag it out. And eventually you're going to see, you know, people exchanging ideas here and communicating how we can be more progressive inside ourselves and influence progressive ideas in our society. To me, that's a true progressive. That personification of the absolute truth. Well, is it real or not real? It's up to you. You know, what do you mean by real? But it's an association with your inner artist, which, no matter what the mystics tell you, that's the real goal, is to be in touch as close as you can with the absolute truth, which has to be something in your brain, because your brain is the imaginer of all you imagine, and your higher power. That influence from something out there, who knows? There's indications, I think, occasionally where there's hard to explain sorts of positive influences in that kind of communion. But I want to make a point about that. You practice inner mind communication, this branch of it, you'll find the real core of progressivism, living right now, here and now, eventual form and current form, to some degree, of empathetic awareness. Anyway, I'm going to try to produce a video every day. Sometimes I don't succeed. Then I try to make it up the next day or so. And I love to sing my song at the end. Hope you subscribe, comment, and share. Join the team. At this point, there's no way to monetize this channel. And we're not really asking for anything for now. Later on, of course, we may, in order to advance the cause. But, yeah, if you are sharp enough, you are one of the special people who understand this message even a little bit. I hope you join the team and learn along with the rest of us how to implement progressive ideas in ourselves and in our society. Yeah. So now for now, until the others join the channel, I'll still get away with singing my Irish blessing, right? That may come to an end because it may not be an agreement. But it's my heart reaching to your heart. May the road rise to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face. The rain fall soft upon your fields. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of his hand, or her hand, or its hand. Anyway, May your inner artist help you to reimagine in positive ways the wonder and the beauty that is this universe that you're a part of. Speaking of being part of the universe, I always like to say namaste at the end. Again, that may pass away. Others join the channel, but yeah, namaste means, the love flow and the potential for it. And the person saying it, honor that same in the person who receives or hears that word. And it's an honoring of the fact that we're all part of the same universe. And in a sense, are one. And yeah. So, namaste, and make a great day. Namaste, y'all.